But who needs Apple CarPlay and Android Auto when you have a 5-liter V8 that sings to you if you really wanted to? For example. But you know what? This thing sounds great. This thing in drive. 10-speed automatic transmission. Holy! 300 horsepower is enough to kind of ruin you for any regular car. But having it in a truck with all the power and the size and the capabilities of a truck, it's impossible not to fall in love with it. (2023) Ford F150 XLT with a 5-liter V8 pushing around 400 horsepower and 410 pound-foot of torque, 4x4 with a 10-speed automatic transmission. And ladies and gentlemen, I really enjoy driving this truck, and of course we're gonna put it in sport mode. But first things first, let's do a quick little walk around. It's rainy outside, it's a little bit windy, but you know what? This thing sounds great. Let's do a walk around real quick. This thing looks absolutely stunning. Forgive me, it's a little bit windy, and since this is a 2023 model, I'm expecting the 2024 model to look a little bit better than this, but this is the previous generation, I'm pretty sure. 4x4, pretty basic wheels, but the thing about Ford, I've seen that they're kind of similar to Dodge a little bit, is that for the base models they don't focus too much on the styling and the interior of the truck. They try and make it more powerful. They make the emphasis on the engine more like. But again, pretty decently sized trunk bed over here, very nice, very simple stuff. Gas cap, there's no lid, so you just pretty much just tap it and it's open. And hopping inside, you can see cloth seats all around. No cup holders over here because your cup holders are gonna be down here. I really don't like this design because it's way too low for my liking. That's me personally. Hopping in, you can grab onto this, put your foot in, yeet yourself in, and yeah, textured plastic all around and some little bit of stitched leather as well, but mostly plastic because again, this is the base model, by the way. Nothing too crazy, simple base model tactics. And some USB ports down here, and your 12-volt charging over here as well, and your little net. I keep forgetting the name of it, but my little net, that's what I call it. Now hopping inside, before that, F150 XLT, love the badging and the little functional vents as well. Hopping inside, you're gonna put your phone over here, and if you don't want to do that, smack it in here, and then where is the button? Pull this seat all the way up so you can have 3 rows in the front instead of 2. I don't know how to feel about that, but we'll keep it like that for a bit. You have to have a really small person seating here in the front if you really want to do something like that. Putting on the seat belt, and since we're already in sport mode, we're gonna turn off our traction control. Where is it? Put this thing in drive. 10-speed automatic transmission. Holy! Good and great traction at all. That is insane. The amount of power, 400 horsepower, what it does to you, man, it kind of ruins you. That's the thing. Again, 300 horsepower, like for the Dodge, the Hemis that the Dodges have, 300 horsepower is enough to kind of ruin you for any regular car. But having it in a truck with all the power and the size and the capabilities of a truck, it's impossible not to fall in love with it. Again, it's a truck. Suspension, it's gonna be perfect. Like, I'm gonna be going over every hole and pothole, absolutely no problem. And if you want a little bit of tunes and some music, you got a good 6 inches of screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But who needs Apple CarPlay and Android Auto when you have a 5-liter V8 that sings to you if you really wanted to. For example, it sounds so good. And again, since it's a 10-speed automatic transmission, you get to hear this thing. If you're, for example, just cruising in 10th gear, you get to hear this thing downshift 7 times, which is a beauty to hear. Oh. And the thing about it is you can never get enough of that engine note every single time. The engine note just gets you. Like, you're never gonna get bored of something like this. But let's talk about fuel efficiency, and I've been driving this thing for a little bit now. So if we take a look at our fuel efficiency going through our digital gauge cluster, you can see we're doing 12.6 liters for every 100 kilometers, which actually isn't too bad, but could be better if you did have a heavy foot such as me. And looks like they're getting some more Chevy trucks out there. Maybe I'll get to review one too. But we're gonna do one quick 0 to 60. Oh, damn. Quick boy, this thing's a quick boy. Oof. And the engine note sounds heavenly every time. I can now understand how people fall in love with this engine and why people with trucks just seem to be making so much noise everywhere they go. It's not their fault. This is all completely stock, by the way. But it just sounds so good. Again, 10 out of 10 truck, and the 10-speed automatic transmission makes this thing take off and launch off every single time. Just love it. And this is the same transmission that is put in a handful of Mustangs, the same engine that's put in a handful of Mustangs too. So you already know, if you get a Mustang, you have the engine and the power that this thing has, but in a smaller package. And this thing also does have auto stop and hold if you want to feel nice and actually save a little bit of gas. Unlike me, you also get a little bit of your backup camera and a 360 view with your parking sensors all around. Very simple, but it's easy stuff. And if you don't want to see this, press this button and there we go. It just shows you the time and the date, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to have your own little me time, that's what you would do. The turning radius on this thing is actually not bad, but because I'm me, I like to keep my traction half the time when I'm trying to launch the vehicle. So we're having in 4-wheel drive mode right now. Oh, this car sounds absolutely beautiful. 10 out of 10. This one actually, I want to say, beats the Hemi in sounds of exhaust notes, because the Hemi, the exhaust is a little bit more muffled. It feels a little bit more neutered. This one just lets the engine sing at all times, and I actually love it. And again, if you want to talk about cruise control and all your safety features, again, our brakes are pretty good. Like, we have absolutely no problem. So let's get our cruise control ready. Turn on our lane keep assist. Get our cruise control on. And we're gonna get up to 45. And this one does not have adaptive cruise control, so keep your foot on the brake in case something does come up in front of you, so you actually have enough time to brake and slow down. But again, you're in a truck, so you could probably walk out from any kind of collision most of the time, depending on what you were doing or how dumb you were going. It kind of sucks that Ford is getting rid of these and making it fully electric. I really love the V8s. A truck should always come in a V8, no questions asked. So I don't know why Ford is trying to make it into a fully electric car. It just feels counterproductive. A lot of people love their trucks with their V8s. So having it in electric kind of defeats the purpose, and besides, it's still a very, very new technology. So it's gonna take some getting used to. Maybe if I drive one, I'll have my opinion changed. It feels weird, knowing that that your truck has a frunk in front. I don't know. That's usually exclusive to supercars and a couple of Teslas, maybe. I can accept that from the Tesla, but seeing a truck with a frunk, I feel skeptical. I can't say the word. I feel iffy about it, is what I want to say. And we got cops out here all bright and early, stopping a BMW M2, looks like it. Well, he's probably gonna hear me with my little exhaust going crazy, so let's just... Sounds absolutely spectacular. That's the thing, like, now this entire review is just gonna be me fanboying about how good this truck sounds. We should talk about the practicality. This thing can tow a lot. We should be talking a little bit more about the practicality. Again, you have a good full 5 seats here for you and your family if you really needed the extra seating. Again, you're gonna need a tiny person to be sitting here. You can put your car seat in the back. Again, tons of room. And if we look at our gas mileage after stepping it a little bit more, we've gone to 12.7. So yeah, it's kind of a gas guzzler if you drive like me, at least. And our current range at half a tank shows you 437, which is actually more than a handful of cars out there, because some cars, for example, I know the RAV4 might have a range of up to 500. This one having that on half a tank is a really good sign that this thing could probably go up to 1,000 kilometers if you really wanted to save your gas and penny pinch on your gas like that too. And since we're in the base model truck, we don't get many safety features. Besides lane keep assist, that's pretty much all we got that's fancy out there. And also blind spot monitoring, which if you take a quick glance at it, you don't realize it until you stare at the mirror and actually notice that you do have blind spot monitoring as well. But that's not why you get a truck. You get a truck like this when you have to go to work, when you have to go on a construction site as well, when you want to go off-roading, or when you want to haul stuff. That's when you need a truck like this. The only thing is that the transmission takes some getting used to sometimes, because again, it's 10 speed, so all the gears are short, quick, and bang, bang, bang. So it does weird stuff like that sometimes, where you want it to downshift, but when it downshifts, it then upshifts again, and then just ruins all your momentum. So that's why I would like it to have paddle shifters a little bit, because that would be nice. That would eliminate that problem where I downshift by myself. But again, you can't have everything. But we're gonna try one quick acceleration, because that was weird. You try to accelerate, it drops to second, then instantly upshifts to third and just kills all your power. Weird, but maybe it just takes some getting used to. You don't just hammer it and floor it all the time. We're gonna roll down the window one more time, and then we'll call it a day at the end of this review. Slow down a little bit more. 3, 2, 1. Oh, absolutely great. And really good brakes too. Wow, that person was gonna go in whether I made it or not. So anyway, this has been Morty in the 2023 Ford F-150 right beside the GM plant. Take care guys, and peace.